Hey everyone, it's February 13th, and if you're not actively plotting the demise of the greeting card industry, you're probably trying to figure out what to get your significant other for Valentine's Day. You want your loved one to know that even if you blew off making or buying your gift until the last possible moment, you love them enough to go that extra mile. Forget that overpriced store-bought chocolate. Give them something unique. Give them the best gift of all, homemade cheese. Now, while aged cheeses take months and months of preparation, fresh cheese can be made in as little as a day. Today, I am going to make mascarpone. I know I'm mispronouncing that. Making mascarpone will take about 12 hours, and most of that will be spent letting the cheese separate in the fridge, and you won't have to do a thing. Let's get started. The only ingredients that you need to make mascarpone are heavy cream and a little bit of lemon. You also need a cutting board and a knife to cut the lemon, a measuring cup, a juicer, a sieve and a bowl to strain the cheese through, a cheesecloth, also for straining the cheese, and a candy thermometer. I don't have a candy thermometer, so instead I will be using a meat thermometer, which works just as well. And that is for heating the heavy cream, for which you will also need a large flat-bottom saucepan. You don't actually need very much lemon juice for this recipe to work. You only need about a tablespoon. You can set that aside. Next, you need to measure out the 2 cups of heavy cream. We are ready to get started on cooking. You have to heat it to 190 degrees Fahrenheit or 88 degrees Celsius. And you have to make sure that it doesn't scorch on the bottom. And that's kind of a delicate balance with milk of any sort. So wish me luck. So pour it into the pan to start. Don't heat the pan before you pour in the cream. If you have a hot pan before the cream or any milk goes into it, you can scorch it on impact, and that's bad. So it doesn't need to be on a high heat. Keep it medium to low, and you don't have to stir constantly at first. So this thing will happen sometimes, I'm sure you've noticed if you've ever tried to make hot chocolate from scratch in a saucepan, is that you will get a skin, like, you know, what happens to pudding on the surface of the milk. And that just can be unavoidable. It helps to stir, but if you look away for even a second, sometimes it'll form, and there's really not much to be done about it. We've hit optimal temperature. Pour your tablespoon of lemon juice into your simmering cream. Stirring constantly, very important. Now you cook for 5 minutes. Make sure that the temperature is remaining semi-constant. When 5 minutes have elapsed, quickly remove the mixture from heat. Should be beginning to coat the back of the spoon like this. And you let it cool for 40 minutes. You get to take a break. Once you have finished letting the cream mixture cool, the next part is really simple. You take the mixture and a wooden spoon so that you can get all of it out of the pan. You pour it into a bowl with a sieve over it, and the sieve should be lined with about 4 layers of cheesecloth. Or a bunch of layers of coffee filters will also work. Pour into the cheesecloth. You see how much gets stuck to the pan? So you scrape it all off. And now you cover the whole thing with saran wrap. And now that the whole thing is covered in cling wrap, you put it in your fridge for 8 to 12 hours. 12 hours have passed. So now you get to separate cheese from the strainer. Gather up the cheesecloth, pull it up, make sure that it's all squeezed out, and you're going to transfer all of it into a jar. It can be any jar. I recommend ones with screw-on lids. Catch the cheese in clean hands and drop it into the jar. And you can push it down using a spoon. Press the air out of the bottom of the jar. And once you get most of the air out, then you can smooth it down around the top with the back of the spoon. And you can take a cloth to cover the top of this. I'm not going to. And you seal the jar. And you should use this in 7 days. And that is about 1.25 cups of beautiful fresh mascarpone cheese. Thank you for watching me make this beautiful Valentine's Day gift, and I will see you next week.